Lately, the Korean peninsula is once again in a state of heightened tension. Pyongyang has issued operational readiness instructions requiring troops on the border front to enter a shooting standby state. Meanwhile, warning South Korea that if they dare to invade again, there won't be another warning. What is it to make the North Korean side so angry? The thing is like this. Since October, a large number of drones have repeatedly intruded into the airspace over Pyongyang and scattered on a large scale anti-North Korean propaganda leaflets. This move directly angered the North Korean side. Later, upon investigation, it was confirmed that these drones all come from within South Korea. This further angered Pyongyang. Seoul immediately received a warning from Bilan. If there is another time, the North Korean side will directly fire the first shot to strike the attacking target. However, the South Korean government does not recognize it. Initiated relevant actions, even if the drone intrudes. It is done by civil society organizations. This kind of argument naturally cannot be recognized by the North Korean side. Because from the relevant photos, a drone that intruded into North Korea, not a common civilian drone. And in the eyes of the North Korean side, even if it is the work of civil society organizations, the South Korean government also bears responsibility for this. On both sides, under your harsh words, the conflict between the two countries can be described as imminent. However, don't be fooled by South Korea's tough stance. Compared to the military strength of South and North Korea, South Korea is actually one step behind North Korea, even if we don't include nuclear power. Just North Korea's large caliber rocket gun. This makes it difficult for South Korea to resist. And the reason why South Korea dares to confront North Korea head-on is that it has the support of the United States behind it. This is also the fundamental reason why the peninsula issue has been difficult to resolve. The United States has been in Korea for a long time. The garrison has always been a great threat to North Korea. And North Korea's military power also makes South Korea feel insecure. However, when Moon Jae-in was president of the Republic of Korea, the situation on the peninsula is still relatively stable. The leaders of the two countries have met several times. However, after Yin Shae-wi took office, his pro-American policy has given the United States room to provoke. The repeated military exercises by the United States and South Korea have further raised concerns in Pyongyang. So to speak, the situation on the peninsula has come to this point. The responsibility lies more with the United States and South Korea. The actions of the Yin Shae-wi government are also confusing, due to fear of Bilan, so pulling allies to show off their muscles. As a result, after Bilan showed his muscles, on the contrary, the South Korean side is even more afraid. Yoon Suk-yeol, who now knows that South Korea has caused a big disaster, has begun to seek help from external forces. Except for the United States. His primary goal is undoubtedly that during China's recent visit to Singapore, Yin Shae-wi once again expressed her stance on China-South Korea relations and unexpectedly mentioned the previous Korean War. Yin Shae-wi stated that, although China and North Korea once stood together, but for South Korea, to focus on the future, instead of the past, whether in terms of safety or economy, China is an important presence for South Korea. In fact, there has been a saying circulating in the outside world about South Korean security. Relying on the suspicion of the United States and relying on China. Even kimchi, which Koreans are proud of, the vast majority are imported from China. But after Yin Shae-wi took office, South Korea's constant catering to the United States' anti-China strategy has damaged the relationship between China and South Korea. Nowadays, Yin Shae-wi's words, there is a strong desire to turn towards China, which is specifically mentioned, resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea. I'm afraid it's also a side attack. I hope China can prevent the situation from escalating further. However, the United States is the main culprit behind the tense situation on the peninsula. If South Korea really wants to get out of the predicament, we need to prioritize dialogue over confrontation. If we cannot communicate sincerely, it will only continue to be used and remotely controlled by the United States.